Hey, ladies. Happy hump day. I hope you are all having a fabulous start to your day or afternoon, whatever time it is for you. I would love to say hi to you as you're coming on. So please comment, say hello, let me know where you're tuning in from. Beautiful. Well, as you know, Wednesdays we do a live Q&A to really just make sure to answer in depth some of the questions that you ladies have been posting in the Facebook group, right? Macro tracking and weightlifting for women. And so today I do want to go through those and of course dive deeper, but I also want to, I'm going to pin this video really quick. I also want to share with you a piece that so many of you are missing because you're doing the things, right? You are doing the things. You're putting the time in to get your lifts in, you're figuring out macros, you're tracking macros, you're using the calculator, you're doing a lot of great things, but you know that there's more. You know that there's more, right? And so part of that we've talked about is the lifting routine. So many times your lifting routine isn't set to the outcome you want, therefore you'd never get there, right? So that's one of the problems. Another problem also, of course, is really dialing in your macros and your habits. But the one I want to bring forward to your attention today is the actual process of transformation, right? It's amazing when you see photos and it's like, wow, she got incredible results. That is so cool that she did that. But what you're not actually seeing is the internal transformation that's taking place throughout that whole time. And so I just want to share, so we do a Zoom coaching call internally, like with our clients each week, at least once a week. And so I want to share some of the topics that got brought up. Yesterday, it got so deep and it just really brought so much awareness over the change that these women are experiencing. It was so beautiful. And so I want to bring that forward because when you're not vulnerable in this process, or when you're struggling in silence, or when you're not wanting to necessarily work through something, you're going to get stuck, right? You're going to get stuck. Doing the internal work is challenging, ladies. And you have to do internal work in your emotions, right? In relationships and all the things. You actually also really have to do that internal work in your fitness and nutrition. And without doing that, there's always that potential to backslide, right? There's always that potential for a plateau that you'll always get stuck. And like I say all the time, the only way out is through. So I would never share names. This will be really anonymous, but like we had one woman really changing her lifestyle. And she said, I feel like I'm leaving a part of me behind. And so it was creating, or it hasn't yet, but it has the potential to be creating self-sabotage. And so it's like, okay, we need to focus on reframing that really quickly, right? Or as fast as she's able, because until subconsciously you can reframe that you're leaving part of you behind, you're never going to let yourself go higher. Never, right? There's a process that takes to essentially rewire those neural pathways, right? We think one way for so many years. We're creating habits and neural pathways in our brain. We can't just say, oh, I want to fix this, and then the next day it's fixed. It's like we actually have to create new thought patterns towards the new habit we want to create, right? Let's see, what were some other? So one of them was like, her daughter was, offering her chips and she was holding strong and she ate a few chips and stayed on point. But then like that led her to overeating this other food. And she's like, that was so unnecessary. It's like, oh my gosh, but don't worry. The awareness of that is so beautiful. Let's shift how we're thinking about that situation to create those new neural pathways in the direction that you want the habit to be, right? There are like unlimited examples of what has to take place in the process. It's not just about going to the gym, right? It's not just about like putting the broccoli in your mouth. You have to change so much here to live out the powerful, fit, healthy woman who maintains it with ease. It takes a total difference here. One other quick story I'll share with you. She doesn't actually work with us now. She just finished and started her own fitness and nutrition company, which is so cool. She came to us, I think she was at like 223 pounds. And once we hit 160, she goes, I think I'm good here. I was like, whoa, why? Why do you want to stop here? Like, what are you talking about, And it took a bit for her to reply. And she was like, well, I didn't think I'd ever get here. So I don't know. It was like she was frozen because before it was like, that's just not possible. there was so much that we had to shift mentally to physically allow her to keep going on the journey and keep transforming her life and really get down to like that dream area that, you guys, it's so much more than physical. It's you becoming more, right? It's really such an amazing process. So go through it. Don't fight it. Move through the resistance. You feel it to heal it, right? You feel it to navigate it and move successfully through it. Okay, great. Well, on a lighter note, let's talk through the Q&A. I will always prioritize your ladies' questions for those who are here. So please comment, and as long as I can see them through StreamYard, I will definitely share all my insights, okay? Just as a reminder, especially for those of you who are new, my name's Kristen. I'm the owner of Queens of Iron. We're a team of 4 trainers right now, about to hire a 5th, which is really exciting. Hey, ladies. And our mission here is really to teach women how to just love the skin they're in, feel super strong, stay injury-free, and create this like fit feminine physique that they love. The bodies that we like to create is like WBFF Diva Fitness model. That is the type of programming that I love, and that's the type of programs that our clients get. And then we take the nutrition and just create really healthy habits that you can live out for the rest of your life, like the last solution that you'll need, truly, because it's just so wholesome foods. Right? It's very simple, right? It's just whole foods, vitamins, minerals, eating the right food for your training demands, your lifestyle demands, all of that. And then we just really teach you how to maintain it long term. We always stay up in the research, always. We're always looking the last 3 to 5 years, peer-reviewed research, because the fitness and nutrition industry is ever changing, ever advancing, right? And we stay up with that because we want to give you really quality knowledge, not outdated knowledge, because your time is valuable. So let's get you great results in a really healthy way. Okay. So the first one I want to share is so simple, but people are in different areas in their fitness journey. So I know this might be a little tricky to see, but this gal was asking about this food. She's like, is this even healthy? Is this even a good choice, right? So can you guys see this decently okay? I know it's not perfect in my background. Oh, that's better, isn't it? Look at that. Okay, here, let's break that. There we go. So we want to look at 2 different things. We want to look at the macros and the ingredients. It is not if it fits my macros, I'm all good. It's like, but wait, food quality is so vital. So let's talk about both and just break this down for those of you who are still learning this side, right? So when I say a balanced meal, that means that you have essentially healthy portions of protein, carb, and fat, okay? For a lot of ladies, it depends, but it's like roughly 25 to 40 grams of protein per meal, 5 to 20-ish grams of fat per meal. That one really varies. Same with the carbs. It's like 25 to even 50 grams of carb per meal. So it really depends. So this one, fat at 12 and a half, fabulous. That's a great portion size. Carbohydrates at 20, great. Fibers at 3 grams with 20 grams of carb, fabulous, right? You can definitely have way more carb depending on your total daily, but this is fabulous. Protein 30, smashed it. Love it. Carbs or macros are great. Now let's look at the food quality. Okay, first thing I see is vegetables. I'm like, heck yes, girlfriend. That's partly where your fiber is coming in. So that's wonderful. It looks like a hummus for the spread. What a great alternative. Love it. Chickpeas, right? Deli meat. Okay, sure. Is it processed? Is it maybe not the best option? Sure. But nothing wrong with moderation, in my personal opinion. I think deli meat's great. We eat it in our house and go for it. I don't know what your wrap is, but I think this is a fabulous snack with great macros. So really good job. That's super awesome. Okay, cool. I know that one was really simple. All right. So now Lena T, that was for you, love. So now let's go. Oh, good. That's awesome. Yeah, great job. Love it. Okay. So now let's go to Candace R. I love this question. She said, I'd like to open a discussion on compound versus isolated exercise. What are the pros of each? This is so beautiful. So let's get learning. So both of them are perfect. Both of them should be incorporated. They have very different purposes. I also want to add in machine, not just isolated, because you can do isolated with a dumbbell, with body weight, with a band, right? So a compound lift is simply that it's using more muscle groups, right? An isolated lift is typically like a bicep curl. You're using your bicep. Compound lifts are 1,000,000% vital for functional training, for functional living. To be strong in everyday life, I wholeheartedly believe you must have compound lifts, a deadlift, a squat. Um, in some cases, a lot of bent over rows, right? Like, I mean, when you're in a bent over row, your abs are engaged, your glutes are squeezed, your legs are turned on. Obviously, your entire upper body is working. It's not just like, man, there's so many, like, I don't want to confuse you guys because there's so many like that teeter into both, but it's, if you're seated and doing a single arm cable row, that's really different than doing a barbell bent over row, right? One is more isolated, one is definitely more compound. Both are absolutely required, right? When we do the isolated work, it helps us target different muscle groups and it helps us really create that beautiful shape that we want. It helps us eliminate muscle imbalances. It helps you get a weaker muscle strong, right? Isolated also really, really helps strengthen your stabilizer muscles. Compound lifts do as well, but oftentimes we need more isolated work for the stabilizers because we just need to target really little itty bitty muscle groups, right? Something like a single leg hip thrust, it takes a lot of different muscles, of course, but it's also putting more work on the stabilizer muscles. So I wouldn't necessarily say like, oh, load it up a ton, to really strengthen the stabilizers, because it's like, we want to make sure they're strong at the same rate as your compound lifts are getting strong. And here's what I mean by that. If you do just machine work and then you just do these huge compound lifts, injury is more possible, right? Because you're not taking the time to actually strengthen the stabilizer muscles in your knees, in your low back, in your shoulders, because with machines, they're doing the work for you. The machines are stabilizing for you. So if you're only doing machines and you're pushing heavy, 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 it's like, oh my gosh, well, what if your bigger quad muscles are getting strong, 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 but the little stabilizers in your knees are not getting strong at that same rate? An injury is way more likely to occur in your knee, right? And so we must have a balance of all of them, of isolated work and of compound lifts, because we want to get super strong for everyday life, but we also want to make sure, well, that we can shape our body, obviously, but also, right, because we really, really want to make sure that the little stabilizer muscles in our bodies are super, super, super strong as well. Okay. I hope that really helps. I hope that brought a lot of clarity. I'm trying to think of other like really unique examples. Okay, well, here's actually one. So a hip thrust, right? Compound lift versus a standing cable hip abduction. Definitely way more isolated. So there's a little hesitancy in my voice, if you've noticed, because it's like, well, but you're still super squeezing your abs. You're still in proper posture. Your body is still engaged and activated. So although the muscles are not directly working with the lift, they should still be on. I hope that you understand that. Every single exercise in the whole wide world is an ab exercise. Make sure that those babies are rock solid, okay? Always, always, always. But with the single leg hip abduction, it's going to pop your booty, right? Beautiful for a physique, for strength. I mean, gosh, we all want to look good, right? I don't feel like there's vanity in that. It feels good to feel good from the inside out, okay? So both are required, though. Both create a really beautiful program design, and both are extremely valuable for your training. So 10 out of 10, do both. If you guys have more questions, or if you want me to dive deeper, or if you have specifics, please share them, and I'm more than happy to. Always. I can talk about this all day. Okay, and now Grace B. She said, how many HIIT workouts do you do each week? Right now I'm doing 2 on the same days, my low carb days. Oh my gosh, we'll come back to that one. I'm wondering if I should be lifting instead. My workout looks like 2 hip, 1 upper body, 1 leg day, and 1 full body. Okay, so 5 training days. I do 2 low carb day and 5 regular macro. Grace, there's quite a few pieces I'd love to break down in this. My first question is, why are you doing low carb? I would love to know that, especially if you're on lev. Why are you doing low carb? If it's for fat loss, I would not at all recommend that, especially because your training requires carbohydrate and HIIT, things that take more like explosive energy and things like that. Grace, is this you, love, right here? If exercises that take a lot of that explosive energy, the primary fuel source, ladies, is carb. So you're like, okay, body, I'm going to require more carb from you, but I'm actually going to eat less. Your body's not going to be like, oh, okay, well, let me just like shed this fat for you because I feel really safe. It's not going to do that, right? Oh yeah, I'll talk about the bend over row in just a second. So first thing is I would really just get clear with yourself. Why are you doing the low carb? Is there a better approach for you, for where you're at in your goals and what your training requires? Okay. Now the next thing is, what are your goals, right? If your goal is to build a super strong, beautiful physique, personally, I feel you could definitely program a workout that would achieve that way better than this. This is great, right? It's wonderful. You're going to get fit, you're going to get healthy, but at the same time, volume wise, it's like, why the hit? Is it more just for the cardio aspect? I think we would really need to break down the hit of like, what's it actually providing for you? How can we basically support you in a better way? Because if you really want to build muscle mass, you just want to shed fat and you really want to build muscle mass, personally, I think that really getting the fundamentals of this is the nutrition that I need, this is the lifting program that I need. The nutrition is going to get the fat off, make sure I'm preserving muscle mass and growing muscle mass in some phases. And the lifting routine is going to totally build and shape your body while protecting it, making sure you're super strong. Bam, right? So the nutrition reveals what the lifting is creating. Okay. But by trying to lose the fat through the lifting, it's like, you just need to put the right tools in place, because it's like you're trying to use one to compensate for the other, right? There are definite better ways for sure. Yeah. But you're building a gorgeous foundation. So great job with that. Man, especially with the one leg day, because as ladies, our legs take a lot longer, and it's just, we need more volume, right? Than one leg day and one total body is really providing. And a lot of HIIT is more like endurance, like body pump, similar, if I'm understanding that correctly. And it just, you're always going to be left needing more. You're always going to be left like, why can't I get there? I'm right here. Why can't I get there? It's like, we just got to dial it in more. Okay. All right, cool. So here's the question. Can you show what a bend over row looks like? I'm feeling like mine isn't quite right. And I will actually show you really quick. So let me show you right here. Okay. So the first thing, ladies, is it's a hip hinge, right? So what's a hip hinge? It's like this. A hip hinge is like an RDL, right? So in your bend over row, do your hip hinge. Chest is open, shoulders are back and down, and row back to your belly button. Squeezing your back together, right? Not just using your arms, but like actually engaging your back. If you're like this, okay, push your chest open, get your shoulders back, and pull back to your belly button. Okay? Yeah, let me know if you have more questions on that. Beautiful. It's important to use the right form for injury prevention and to get the best results. Otherwise, it's like, why are my arms jacked, but I have no muscle in my back, but I'm doing only back exercises? It's like, well, you're not really using your back then in your back exercises. You're using your arms, right? So let's make sure we're using the right muscles. Cool. Good question. All right. So let's go to an anonymous. Excuse me. She said, hi, everyone. Looking for some similar experiences. Backstory: 5 months postpartum. You bet. She's currently exclusively breastfeeding. So she was working with a coach, 4 months, lost 30 pounds. So she was in a deficit. Now she wants to maintain essentially, and the coach is bringing up her calories. And she's like, I'm still losing weight. Is this normal? Of course, because on your way to maintenance, you're still in a deficit, right? In maintenance, so it's a few increases to get to maintenance. You don't just want to throw it right up, right? You're going to lose that entire time. In maintenance, you're still going to become a more fit version of yourself, but the scale now is going to stay the same. So that's beautiful. Totally normal. It's called reverse dieting. Isn't it fabulous? Okay, cool. Josie, she's here. Actually, let me go to this one. Do you think if I do a chin tuck, it's okay with all the exercises? I wouldn't recommend it except with a hip thrust, because it's not really doing your body any justice. So just for those of you who are wondering, and if I'm understanding, she's basically, let me show you like this. She's wanting to lift like this, right? Is that protecting your neck? No. Is that supporting the lift? No. What's the point, right? So I would say get yourself just an anatomical position, keeping your neck elongated, neutral spine to just protect your body, right? Okay. So yeah, good question. So Josie says, for those taking collagen, do you add it in your protein? It's like, here's what I say about it. Look at the nutrition label. If there's calories and macros, add it. If there's not, don't. Simple. That's how I would say. Okay, last one, ladies. Please share any and all that you have. I just love it. I'm so grateful that you are ready to learn, right? How amazing. All right. Carmen, she says, hey, everybody, hope you're having a great week. I recovered from 2 big fractures in one of my legs, so I wasn't able to do anything. So I gained a lot of weight. I'm going to pause there for a minute. That means that you don't truly have the nutritional tools in place, right? Again, this is what happens is ladies try to compensate for their nutrition with their fitness, but it's like, you actually don't have to do that, right? You just need to get on the right macros and go through the process of totally changing so many neural pathways in your brain. Then you get to the lifestyle. It's habit stacking. It's just habit stacking. It's reframing, habit stacking, reframing, habit stacking, reframing, habit stacking. So effective, so vital, or you'll stay on the hamster wheel until you go through it. The only way out is through. Okay, so she says, now I'm in physical therapy and they're telling me I can go back to the gym. Before I was getting help on nutrition, things like that. I need help now. Yeah, girlfriend, work with a professional. It's the fastest way. Harvard medical research shows having a support system around you is critical to achieve your goals faster and in a way you can sustain long term. Because otherwise you're guessing. It's trial and error, right? It's like just work with a professional so you can just go there so much faster. On that note, ladies, if any of you are wanting to shed fat, gain muscle, or really understand the reverse diet process, right? Bring so much health back to your metabolism and just be able to have a plan you can just follow, get amazing results, but also learn your body and learn what you need, learn the habits in the meantime, comment coaching. We'll talk through it, ladies. We definitely have a few spots open this week and a few in December as well. We're gearing up right into a whole new year of possibilities. And it's like, let's get it. We're here to support you. So if you want to chat more about what you're going through, how we can support you, what that would look like so you can just feel so much better in your skin, your clothes fit better, you have more energy throughout the day, and you can really finally master the nutrition piece, let us know. We'll reach out. We'd love to help you with that. Okay, beautiful. Ladies, have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Coach Megan's going to come on. She's going to talk about sleep, all the research of sleep. So that's very cool, right? Sleep is so important for recovery. It's so important for your lifts. Here, actually, I'm going to pull up this. I don't understand the question, love. During warm-ups, it doesn't feel like doing anything. That's funny. What's your warm-up? Let me see. So we do some mobility in warm-up. We do some rotator cuff, low back, and knee therapy exercises, corrective exercises to create super, super strong rotator cuffs and things like that. But the mobility, it's not that it's challenging, but I mean, you should be like, I can't see your name, love. What's your name? Are you in the DIY or tell me what your name is? If you're in our actual program, we'll reach out and be like, possibly send us a video of what you're doing, right? But it's not an exercise. It's like just getting your, Angie, I got you. Angie, I just love it. So it's getting your muscles moving. It's getting your body moving, right? You shouldn't be sweating. Yeah, I got you, love. You shouldn't be sweating. You shouldn't be like, dang, that was so hard, because it's body weight, right? It's just mobility. So if you're doing the banded pull apart, yeah, your back is going to be on. You should certainly feel it in your back. If you're doing like world's greatest stretch, like you should feel your hip flexors moving. It shouldn't feel like nothing, right? You should feel stretching, but remember, it's dynamic stretching. It's not like you're holding a stretch, right? It's moving and opening up your hips and opening up your thighs and your legs and your shoulders and things like that. So think about it this way, okay? Think about it for, I'm thinking of the world's greatest stretch, right? Where, I might be able to show you guys, but the camera angle might not be best. But so Actually, here, I'll show you in the squat. So one of the warm-ups we do is we sit in a squat and we just kind of go back and forth, right? A lot of this is actually for ankle mobility. And so you should be able to, with each rep, go a little bit farther with your heel on the ground, a little bit farther. And then another warm-up we do is like this, right? Every time you go to the side, right here, you should be able to go a little bit farther and a little bit farther and a little bit farther. So I can definitely feel it. It's not that I'm working out, but I'm challenging my body to move at a greater, through a greater range. Does that make sense, Angie? I love that you asked that. That's such a good question. I hope that makes sense. Just let me know in Telegram if you need more than that. I'm happy to help. I'm huffing and puffing from stretching. So you should obviously feel a little something. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Sometimes you don't realize until you're like actually teaching it, it's like, oh, okay, that did exert more than I thought. Okay, cool, ladies. Well, seriously, have such a great day. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, just let us know. We're happy to help you, provide resources, and just chat through what you need. So have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.